Hi, my name is Larisa Bauman. I'm a fourth year AVID student at Finley High School, and this is my AVID story. If someone were to ask me what my favorite thing to do in my spare time is, it would be watching AVID Summer Institute YouTube videos. I think I have watched every single AVID Summer Institute video on YouTube, and I would have never heard of them if it wasn't for my AVID teacher, Mr. Lemke, introducing Jonathan Grant Brown to our class through YouTube. When I first heard his story, it brought tears to my eyes because I felt like someone understood my pain, my troubles, and had given me hope of what AVID could do for me. That was 4 years ago when I was in 8th grade. I was new to AVID, but after hearing Jonathan Grant Brown's story, I learned what AVID could do for me. This is where my AVID story begins. I am hungry. No one comes to feed me. I am uncomfortable. No one comes to soothe me. I cry, but no one hears me. Is anybody there? Silence. From the day I was born, I've always been faced with challenges. Early on, I was faced with physical and developmental challenges because of being neglected and abandoned with a cleft palate and lip in Russia. When I was adopted at 2.5 years old and brought to America, my palate was fixed, but I soon ran into new challenges because my brain developed differently due to my neglect. I soon was diagnosed with multiple disorders, including ADHD and ADD and reactive attachment disorder. I've always been emotionally challenged because I have a hard time with trusting others and forming relationships. Before AVID, school was simply a place where I got into trouble. I was always smart, but before AVID, I used my intelligence and creativity to get into trouble. My teachers will always remember my days of running down the halls if they saw me because I'm just that fast. I was often found climbing on top of lockers, jumping down whole flights of stairs, and shouting down the hallways. Though rarely in the classroom, somehow I managed to keep my grades up. Life was out of control, and I was causing pain to my family and friends. I continued to go from medication to medication and therapist to therapist to help control my behavior. It helped, but I struggled a lot until the day I joined AVID. In October of 8th grade, I joined AVID. Initially because I didn't want to be in special education. Therefore, I convinced my parents, principal, and case manager to take me out of special education and put me in AVID. Talk about individual determination. I remember my first day of AVID being so full of energy, and there was a positive vibe throughout the room that was contagious to anyone who stepped in the doorway. I loved it, and I knew I wanted to be a part of it. More importantly, I wanted to be an AVID because I wanted to belong somewhere and be a part of something. I wanted to have friends who I could lean on. I wanted to have an adult who cared for me and who I could count on. When I started high school, my life turned into a nightmare. My grades slipped to C's and D's, and I began to struggle with my behavior even more. It got to the point where my family couldn't handle me anymore, so I was put in a foster home for a little while. While all this was happening, I felt alone and hopeless with no resources. One day, when I was supposed to be in class, I ran into Mr. Lemke, my AVID teacher, and he asked to talk to me. I thought I was in trouble because I wasn't in class, but instead, he asked me how I was doing. I looked at him and I broke down. I didn't believe in myself and I doubted my future. Mr. Lemke told me, if you have the motivation and the desire to go to college and make something of yourself, you will be successful. I believe in you, Larisa. Do not ever, ever give up, he said. Mr. Lemke pulled up Jonathan Grant Brown's AVID story again, and we watched it together. I cried so hard while listening to his story because at that time I could relate to him even more. I realized that if Jonathan could make it through and be successful, then I could too. I think Mr. Lemke is psychic because he told me he would like to see me up on that stage and telling my AVID story. I looked at him, rolled my eyes, and said, yeah, right. But in my heart, it was a dream to be up there and share my story and inspire people as much as Jonathan Grant Brown did for me. I told Mr. Lemke, I have the motivation, I have the desire, but what if I don't believe? That's what AVID is for, to help you believe that you will go to college. Let AVID help, he said. His response bothered me so much because I wanted AVID to help me, but I had no idea how that was possible or if it was even possible. In 9th grade, my education was at stake. I was on the verge of being put in a level 3 setting for AVID students. Luckily, there was only a week left of school, and I made it without getting into trouble. I continued to question myself if I belonged in AVID because I wasn't getting much out of it, and I was not representing AVID positively. I know others were having second thoughts about me being in AVID too. However, I wanted to stay with AVID because I knew I hadn't given AVID a full chance to be effective in my life. I watched so many people on YouTube tell their AVID story, and I wanted that. I wanted AVID to help me. No, I wanted AVID to change my life. No, as Mr. Lemke always says, you get out what you put in. Those words finally sunk in, and a light bulb turned on. I decided to put everything I had into AVID, and to believe in AVID with my heart. AVID ignited the fire of determination in me. Over the last few years, I have grown both academically and behaviorally. I am no longer focused on misbehaving. Now, I am focused on my schoolwork and taking Cornell notes whenever I can. In AVID, we have a routine for every day of the week. Tutorials are every Tuesday and Thursday, which have helped tremendously with my honors and AP classes. Our AVID tutors are great. They challenge us to do better, work harder, and ask questions for a presenter instead of just giving the answer. Not only have they been a support for our academics, but they support us in our personal lives, such as attending our extracurricular events. Then there is the AVID family. We work to solve rigorous math problems to understanding in-depth history lessons. Furthermore, we have a bind check every Friday, and that has helped me to be much more organized. On Mondays and Wednesdays, we work on college planning and learn new skills. Being an AVID has given me many opportunities. I attended a camp at Winona State University, which broadened my understanding of culture and race, as well as taking some college classes. Additionally, I attended other camps that focus on culture, equity, leadership, team building skills, and community service. In fact, over the past 2 years, I volunteered over 200 hours helping others in my community and beyond. My AVID family has been there for me through the worst of times and the best of times. My AVID family listened to me when I shared my life story and has been there for me ever since. When I have a tough week, my family is there to encourage me and recognize even my smallest accomplishments. Not only are they there to support me, but they are there to celebrate. In fact, my AVID family threw me a surprise birthday party. On that very same day, Jonathan Grant Brown called Mr. Lemke and left a message for me. I don't know who was more excited to listen to that voicemail, Mr. Lemke or myself. My 16th birthday was a very sweet 16th birthday. Our AVID family is a true family because I know that if I'm struggling, I can lean on them. Not to mention, if I want to have fun, I can count on them. This is why my AVID family is so special and unique, and why I've been impacted by AVID so much. No longer will people tell me I will not graduate high school or go to college. No longer will anyone tell me that I will end up in jail or in a mental institution. No longer am I afraid of my future or where I am headed. Instead, I have to worry about protecting my eyes because my future is so bright. AVID has given my eyes something to focus on and my heart something to hope for. In the fall, I will be starting my senior year, and I hope to attend University of Wisconsin in River Falls. I plan to be a teacher and work my way up to be an administrator. I wanted to be a teacher because I love school and I love helping other kids. I want to make an impact on my students as much as my teachers have made on me, especially Mr. Lemke. Mr. Lemke is the dorkiest person you will ever meet. He always has a smile on his face and is always joking around. However, he always seems to know when I am struggling or just need to talk. He has been there for me since the 8th grade. It took me a while to open up to him, and I tried pushing him away, but he didn't give up on me. During the times I struggled and was being so hard on myself, Mr. Lemke was always there to tell me the positive things that I was doing, and I would always tell him to stop. He would say, "How dare I be positive, huh?" All I could do was roll my eyes. Those are the kinds of things I love most about my AVID teacher, Mr. Lemke. He always knows how to put a smile on my face and keep pushing me on when things get tough. I hope I can someday be as good of a teacher as he is. I already know I'll be saying dorky things to my students just like he does every day. Who knows? Maybe I'll even be an AVID teacher